Hi, everyone. This is Joel Vanderbush. I'm the curator of conservation and education at Niabi Zoo. And a lot of times when people think about the over 600 animals we have at the zoo that represent over 200 species, they often really just think about the large animals. But today I want to talk a little bit more about the small animals. In fact, some of these smallest animals are ants. And so let's learn a little bit more about ants today and realize how important they really are. So when we think about ants, most people just really think, hey, that's a bug. But ants are actually animals that are called insects. And even though they are some of the smallest animals in the world, they represent the largest group of animals being insects. In fact, there are over 900,000 different types of insects. And of those, there are 10,000 types of ants in the world. Now, here in the United States, we actually only really have about 700 types of ants. And when we look at them, we consider they have these different body parts, right? So when we look at the structure of an ant, we're going to see these three main body parts. We look toward the front where we will see the head. We look toward the middle where we'll see the thorax. And we look to the backside where we will see the abdomen. Now, of course, they do have more body parts than just those main ones. They do actually have some legs. In fact, there's one, there's two, three, there's four, we have 5 and 6 total legs. So when we look at the legs, we see that there's 6 legs, 3 main body parts, and we know that all insects, including ants, have those 3 main body parts and 6 legs. That's what makes them an insect. Now, when we consider how the structure of a colony is, everybody says, "All hail the queen," because the queen is the most important member of the ant colony. In fact, all ants work together to support their queen. When we look at this picture here, you'll notice that the queen is much larger than the rest of the ants. And she really only has one major job, and that is to lay lots of eggs to make more ants for the colony. In fact, in this picture, you might even be able to see right in here, there are some eggs right there that these helper ants are working to help the queen with. Now, besides the queen, all of the other ants in the colony have a job, and these worker ants have lots of jobs to do. Some of them are food finders, in which they're out searching for food and gathering it for the colony to bring back to them. Some of them do construction by digging all their tunnels and building and expanding the nest. And of course, some do just house cleaning. So as they clean house, they keep the nest clean and take out all the trash. Some serve as protectors to keep their community safe. And some work in the nursery to care for the queen's hatchlings and all the baby ants. Now, of course, when you have lots of baby ants, you might end up with something like this. In fact, this is probably 100,000 ants, and they're in a swarm. Now, you don't really have to worry about a swarm of ants too much. You don't really want to step on them or be near them. But swarming ants really just means that the colony is growing. As a new generation of ants hatch, that group must go on the move to find more resources like food and shelter. And if by chance a new queen were to hatch, she might actually take a large number of ants with her in order to establish a brand new colony. Now, the question is, with all of those ants, sometimes people see them as pests, but are they important, or can we just get rid of all the ants? Well, sorry to tell you, but ants actually really are helpful to the soil and to plants. In fact, by them digging their tunnels, this allows air and water to move underground, which helps to benefit plant roots and things. They also recycle nutrients by carrying bits of plants and animal remains down into their nests, which also fertilizes the soil. Now, another way they can help plants is actually by carrying their seeds, and sometimes they just leave them lying about, which helps to spread plants to new areas. And of course, just by gathering food from plant to plant, they often will pollinate flowers. So that's incredibly helpful. Now, ants control other insect species that some may consider pests, since ants, can be predators of other insects, but they're also really territorial, so they'll protect their territory from other insects coming into it. Now, ants keep the environment clean by helping to decompose some of those dead plants and animals, and importantly, ants are also food for other animals. And so when we think about ants on the whole, we have to understand that ants are actually very important to the ecosystem around them. Now, we do, of course, have some ants at Niabi Zoo, and this one right here, this one's called the velvet ant. And when you look at this picture, you see it just looks like this hairy ant, right? And it comes from the deserts of Southwest United States and in Mexico. But here's the weird thing about this ant. It's not really an ant. It's actually a wingless wasp. And so it does live on the ground a lot like an ant, and it lives in colonies like ants do. But the one that you see here in the picture, that one is a female, and she does have a stinger like other wasps would, but you notice she doesn't have any wings. But males actually do have wings, but they don't have a stinger. So the female with her stinger, they do use that to protect their colony. And they do have some venom in them, but you can see by the picture at the bottom, it says the venom risk scale, and you see the little marker is over the low, so that means that they're a really low risk. Their venom doesn't really harm humans at all, so that's not anything that we have to worry about. Now, their sting might hurt a little bit, so don't go picking up fuzzy ants or anything, but they can't really hurt us, and that's good. But when we look at the velvet ants, they are just one of the many species that we have in our Spineless Wonders exhibit. This is in the Discovery Center, which is just to the right of the zoo admission gate, and it will be open in the spring of 2021, provided that all of our buildings are able to be open. You'll be able to see all of our spineless wonders. So yes, you might see a variety of spiders and scorpions and centipedes and beetles and things like that, but you'll also see things like crabs, like these giant coconut crabs and some horseshoe crabs and some different things like that. And we have a number of aquatic invertebrates in there as well. And this is really important for us to be able to show, because 97% of all the animals in the world are spineless. They have no spine, which means they are called invertebrates. So the rest of them that we think of all the mammals and the reptiles and the birds and the fish and the amphibians and all of those are actually just representing 3% of all the animals in the world. So most of them, like I say, are the spineless wonders. And so we want to be able to share that with the rest of the Quad Cities. So we hope that you will come out and join us in the spring when the zoo reopens to see the Spineless Wonders exhibit. And if you enjoyed this presentation, we hope that you will check us out at our website at niabizoo.com/education, where you can learn more about our programs that we offer. And of course, you can do our virtual experiences, which you can learn more on that page as well. Do not forget, you can also go to our YouTube page, where we have recorded many of our educational videos for you to enjoy and for teachers to use in their classrooms and all kinds of things. So everyone, you have a great day. We want to thank you so much for spending some time today to learn about ants. And remember that all animals are important as we are working together to assure a better tomorrow for all living things. Everyone, you have a great day and take care. We'll see you at the zoo. Bye-bye.